Hello, everybody. This is Marijana Smolčec, an eTwinning Inclusive Education Group moderator. I'm very happy to welcome you all to the 27th online seminar, webinar, learning event, expert talk, whatever you want, which has been organized by eTwinning featured group Inclusive Education. And my guest today is Nataša Sajko. Today is the 16th of November, and I'm very happy that I have Nataša as my guest. As you can see, she is language, literature, and media teacher advisor. But most important, let alone being a teacher, she also used to work as a journalist for the Croatian television studio in Varaždin for about 8 years. Later, she joined school, and she has been very active as an editor and media literacy teacher in digital and analog form. She used to use and still uses WordPress. She had her own website, a Google page called My Torture Classroom. Very interesting title, where actually she shared a lot of interesting and useful things for the students who would enter Matura exams for Croatian language in Croatia. Most important is that she has been contributed to curricular reform in Croatia in two different curricula, such as cross-cultural, cross-curricular or interdisciplinary use of ICT and subject Croatian language. But she has also been working as a mentor and a teacher trainer. She gave more than 100, I would say, online or on-site presentations, workshops, webinars, and on all levels, from local, regional to international level. She's also a Microsoft certified educator. And at the moment, she's working as an expert for adult learning and continuous professional development in regional centers of competencies that is settled in her medical school of Varaždin. But what she likes to say for herself, that she is a mother and wife, a gardener, and I'm definitely sure a passionate reader. Before I give Nataša the mic, I would just like to tell you all that by the end of the webinar, I'm going to share the link to the Google form for the certificate and evaluation of Nataša's expert talk, and also all the materials, the recording, as well as her presentation and many useful links will be stored in one of the pages in the Inclusive Education group. So if you are still not the member, I hope you're going to join and check out the materials shared. So now, Nataša, while you are getting ready and me trying to prepare your presentation, you are feel free to check your mic, say hello to our participants, and then you are going to be good to go.
Hello, everybody. I think I have some problems with camera. I don't see myself on the screen. I'm not sure.
We can see you, which is okay. You are frozen, but at least we can see you. I hope you won't be having any problems in moving the slides. I will be in the back helping. So Nataša, if you think you are good to go, thank you one more time for joining us. And we are looking forward to your presentation. What kind of virtual worlds do we live in?
Thank you, dear Marijana. I'm so excited to be among you here in Inclusive Education Group, and it's really a big honor for me that Marijana called me and gave me the opportunity to share some experiences with you that I have gathered through my professional life. You have heard that I have some different fields during my professional and private situations that have put me into the journalism, then to the school, and now private. My husband is working as a cybersecurity officer, and my daughter is studying media design. So I'm all across full into the media world. So one of the questions that I'm asking myself, and I would like to ask all of you at a moment, do you ever think what kind of virtual realities, virtual worlds, or digitally mediated reality do we live in? Think just a moment, just a minute about the question that is the big question, and if you like, post some answer into the chat so that we can discuss it later. When you think about it, I will present some learning outcomes that I would like that we all reach during these 60 minutes that we have. So I would like that you will be able, after the presentation, that you will be able to describe media literacy and the area as an area of the digital citizenship. And I will explain a little bit what are differences between these two literacies. Then we will discuss during the central part of the presentations some concepts that are different in different literature as information disorder and fake news. So we will discuss what are misinformations, disinformations, and malinformations, and how to recognize it in different media types. Then we will a little bit are going to talk about echo chambers and filter bubbles on our social media profiles and how to avoid it. And then at the end of the talk, we will discuss about CRAP model that is very suitable to evaluate the informations, and the 4 moves technique that is very good for questioning the sources and media messages that we are consuming every day on our digital platforms and different types of media. Well, I'm trying to think about it. It's useful to learn something new. Okay, it is useful, I believe so. So, I would like to ask you, and this is activity that you can do it with your students also at the beginning of all of these activities that we will do today, because you are students now. You can transform it to the activities with your students upon their ages, because some of the activities are very appropriate for high school students, but also some of middle school students can also join such activities, and primary school students, they need a little bit more guidance. But who are those who use internet regularly and effectively? That is the quote of the book that Karen Moserberg wrote in her book, The Digital Citizens. Well, they are digital citizens, of course. They are living in some sort of society that is now called information society, but also post-industrial society or postmodern society. And those terms are quite similar, but not the same. And within the area of digital citizenship, it is very important that we think about how do we use all those informations. We are polluted with informations. Every day is much more information that was yesterday, because everybody is now sending messages from all kind of social media platforms, their websites, their blogs, and they are sending them to all of us. This is the Web 2. We are sending and we are receiving the messages, and sometimes we do not think about who have sent those messages. We are consuming that. And the children are doing that much more easier than we. So, then we are going to our virtually, digitally mediated lives. We could tell that this event is such an event. We are living in our rooms, our schools, our houses, and we are meeting today live because of digital technology. The technologies that allows us to meet today, to talk together. So this is the first step into the virtual world. But the second step that is very closely to our classrooms or our everyday life is through the augmented reality and different types of 3D virtual spaces, which allows us that we prepare some meetings, that we meet with our friends through our avatars. So virtual worlds are the announcement of something that Mark Zuckerberg names metaverse. And my question is now, are we going to move part of our professional life into those world? These are some questions that I would like to think with you during the presentation. And here is the video that I would like to share with you. Mariana will share into the chat the hyperlink, the link, and you can watch the beginning of the video if you like, and comment what do you think about the source of that information, that video, what kind of informations and messages in what kind of form are sent, and who is the author? Is it a company? Is it a person? Is it someone unknown? Is it that some actor? Well, I will wait for 2 minutes. What do you think? Is it a source reliable? Can we use this video in our everyday education situations? Revolution. Most definitely, yes. Okay. I'm glad to hear that, because terrible indeed. Okay. Later you can visit the site of BTN. This is Australian Media Literacy Agency, and most prominent one in Australia, and find really wonderful videos to use with your students there. And in the video, it is a lot told us that the avatars are our future, that we will go into our avatars, but that is not the future. Avatars are all around us. Here are some selection of my avatars. And as you see, the first one is my digitally taken photo. And I have a little bit arranged it with one application that is called Remove BG. And as you can see, it's a real picture of me. The second one is the picture that I took, and then I put it through the application named Tune Me. It was a really fun experience for myself, because a few days ago Mariana told me about that application and I tried on. And as you can see on that picture, it is me, but it is cartoon me. There are some face expressions that you are unfortunately not able to see at the moment because my camera is not working. The third avatar is made with Bitmoji. Bitmoji is really very popular among educators. A lot of them are creating their Bitmoji classrooms. They're giving their daily or weekly activities, what I do with their students, and they are creating their avatars in those classrooms. That is cartooned application that gives us those pictures, but as you see, I think that all around the world there are a lot of persons that are using the same avatar as I, because there are limited solutions that I can create my own picture. And the third one is from the application Pixton. That is the application for the making cartoons, and it is mostly unlike me. So all of these pictures, cartoons, are female pictures with hair like something like mine, but I can also use some avatars that are not humanly. I can use the picture of my pet, my cat, or I can use the picture of some famous celebrity, or I can use some landscape picture to represent me. And I will do it with different reasons. So now I'm inviting you to share your avatars with me. Please choose one of them and post it on the wall, Flinga wall. Flinga is an application tool very similar to Padlet, and you can access it with code here. You have to first put in an engine search the Flinga fee address, and then the code. Or you can do it with your phones, and there is a barcode here. I will a little bit stop my presentation sharing, and I will share then my screen with the Flinga answers.
I think I have just shared mine. I hope it's there, so you will check it. I like my version of Merlin.
Okay.
It at the moment, yes. You are sharing.
So do you see it? My screen? Yes. We have 3 avatars here. And a little bit of explanations I would like to share also here in the message. Why did you took those pictures? What are your intentions? What would you like to tell about you with those choices that you made? You can also answer it in the chat box. Yes, Mariana, you are looking very good. I think the Louvre is the place where we will set it. I agree. So many happy faces. I like to see happy faces. And excited. I see that there are some also anima lovers among us. This kind of subculture is very popular among the young people. Students, my students in high school, medical school, really love to use anima. This activity is very useful to do with students because it can provoke really good discussion with our students, what they think about themselves and how they want to represent them in a digitally mediated world. So this is the first step in the virtual reality. We see here some of us presenting us in a more informal world, and some of us want to share their professional life. I'm inviting you to share the avatars longer. Now I will
All of these avatars, you are also cute.
show it at the end.
Especially with the pink glasses. In the presentation. Mm-hmm.
And we will back to the presentation. Just a moment. And we are back now. And now we can discuss avatars are the way to create some interest among our students about virtual realities, virtual worlds. And maybe sometimes students are really engaged in virtual worlds because they are playing some video games. Video games like Minecraft or Fortnite that my son loved to play are game-based virtual realities. They are used for entertainment and pleasure, and students are not connecting them with learning, but there are also other kind of virtual realities and virtual worlds, or digital worlds, it's the synonym, that are very useful for education, interaction, training. And one of the applications that is very suitable for our everyday work is Mozilla Hubs. I took the screenshot of my virtual room that I created on that application. This is a hub from Mozilla Firefox, and there you can very easily create your own avatars, on 3D rooms, and they could be for exploring landscapes like this one. You can go 360 around, and you can choose your spaces, where to sit, where to. It's very interesting. I can show it to you later. The other activities that we can do there is playing some sports, socialize with communities, because all those people can go around, and we can also create educational session or some conference. It was last year very popular. I was on some events like that. So at virtual reality, it is really interesting what activities we can do. We can create medieval town in Minecraft with our students. Of course, we have to teach them how to do it at first. Then we can create an atom, or explore Sahara, or discuss around the table. And of course, for students, that kind of connection and interaction within the virtual world will give them more information to think about. What are we doing? Are we responsible? Are we taking care for the others? Because sometimes without faces, without knowing the other persons on the other end of the social media or messaging services is the starting point for the cyberbullying and the other very, very bad behaviors. Yes, this is the Mozilla Hub. I will show you later. And now, when we have discussed the key points and the key terms that are most important for information society and digital citizenship, we can watch at this visualization of digital citizenship. There are 3 areas and 10 domains that are very important for all of us who are willing to be the digital citizens. These are areas: being online, well-being online, and rights online. And one very important domain of the digital citizenship is media and information literacy. Media and information literacy, or MIL, is the term that was created by UNESCO, and it has the 2 parts. One is dealing with media, different types of media and media messages, and the other is about informations. And both parts are very, very important for today's topic. So, as we have discussed before, who are the persons who are using the internet very, very fluently and frequently and with none of the problems? Now we can also show the definition of media literacy as a sentence to our students. We can pose the questions. The questioning is the most important for media literacy. Or thinking of the other strategy that is important for us as teachers in the classroom or everyday life is to thinking aloud about different messages that we are reading, watching, viewing, listening through media. And with the questions and our stream of the thoughts, students can learn a lot. The other part that is very important for students to be in opportunity to create media messages. So, media literate citizens are able, I know that you know, that they are able to assess media. They have their computers, their tablets, their smartphones, or other type of the technology devices, and they know how to use them. They know that they have the appropriate search engines and the other applications that are very important for media literate persons. Then they can analyze, evaluate, use, produce, and at the end communicate informations and knowledge. And they have to be creative. And they have to know what they can do, what is legal, and what is ethical. And then they can be safe on internet. And they respect the other humans. They know that the other humans there have also their rights. There are different types of media, printed or analog or the traditional media, books, newspapers, magazines, journals, newsletters, etc. Then we move to radio or broadcasting media technology. Radio is for the hearing, and it is not that present in everyday life of our students, but sometimes in our cars or on their iPods, they are sometimes listening to the radio. And we have to also to teach them how to assess to that kind of technology mediated messages. Video messages are not only from the television, that are also messages like movies or film industry. Then the most popular for our students is to watch videos, viral videos, and on the most popular social media, TikTok. Everybody is posting something on TikTok, and there are influencers there, and very other kind of messages, video messages that are useful for our educational purposes are memes, and of course, as I told before, video games. at the end is the new kind of media, media of all medias, as we can see, because we are all now on internet, and we are listening podcasts, we are watching screencasts, we are reading web pages that are multimodal. They have also the text, the sounds, the video messages, and we can read blogs. We can use RSS feeds and social media. There are so different social media, and we have our communities there. Students are using mostly Pinterest or Instagram or TikTok. We are using more Facebook or LinkedIn for professional use. And we are always creating different kinds of messages for the audience on different type of media. And we have to be aware of those things, that every media has their own rules, their own language, and their audience, and that every message on media we have to evaluate. And for that we need the knowledge, we need skills, we have to practice, and we have to have attitudes. There are two key questions for educators in literature, that references that I have used. One of them is to ask ourselves, how can children learn to proceed, analyze, make good decisions on their own with respect to the media and information available? And the second one is, how does media and information literacy contribute to all necessary skills for citizens in democratic society? So the private use and the public use of media. It is very important to think about the strategies of the teaching. One of them is learning by playing, gamification. Gamification is great. Students like to play games, and students like to participate in games to win something. I will show you some great games that are prepared for the media literacy. The second one is the learning by doing. Students have to have opportunities to create their own media messages in the safe and security way. So there are some applications in which they can create messages that are looking like real messages, but they are not posted widely, like Facebook or fake messenger. So, thinking aloud and answering the questions are also very popular. I would like to ask you to post in the chat some of your mostly used strategies of the teaching and learning when you are doing it with the students. I would like to hear some answers from you. What are you doing? Posting questions, watching videos and asking them, or are you giving them the opportunity to make the message and then discuss what they have, what expressions, language, what semiotics of the pictures they can do? Media literacy we can teach in any subject. It is really possible to teach media literacy in the physical education. It is very important for the all kind of visual arts, but also for the STEM, because students have to watch videos, as I see. They are using Answer Garden, and they are reading ebooks. Okay. I agree that it's most important that to create their own. And critical thinking. Critical thinking is really very complex skill, and we have to lead students to that kind of thinking, to think lateral. I will show you some techniques how to do it with students. Now, before of that, I would like to present you one picture of the iceberg. As we know, icebergs are only 1/3 above the surface of the sea, and then 2/3 beyond. And so is the web, World Wide Web. It's not the same as we see and when we think about the internet that we use every day, because that is visible web, but only 4% of web is visible, and the other parts are mostly invisible for most users. Deep web. We are using the deep web every day. Do you have some ideas? What services are we using every day? And the other users of World Wide Web then cannot use, and why? Yes, many young people are using the dark web. It's really dangerous place to go. And hackers, yes. Fake identities, yes. But this is the dark web. The deep web is not the same. Well, the visible web is that what we are searching every day. Websites, social media. We can find it through the search engines like Google Search, Mozilla Firefox, MS Edge, DuckDuckGo, and we can find it through addresses like com, org, gov, edu, net, and different types of endings. And when we are searching the visible web, we are searching it through the IP addresses, and this is the something that is visible to other users, so they can find us on that web. And when we are discussing with students, we are discussing the things that they can see. They can see here on visible web. They can find on social media mostly, or different type of websites. One of interesting activity for my students is when I tell them to, and I will ask also you to do the same activity, to post some word in different type of search engines, and then to see what is the first thing that they will be shown for them. And then they will see that that's not the same answers, because sometimes they're using mostly one search engine, and the IE or Boots are founding what we found interesting, and they give us such solutions because they are thinking that we are searching for that kind of information. For instance, on DuckDuckGo, what is the special use of DuckDuckGo? Yes, there is no history of cookies or IP addresses. So it's most reliable that the artificial intelligence or bots, robots will not change our wishes. I think that the most objective search will be on DuckDuckGo. Yes. The second part of the web that is not visible is deep web. When we are trying to search some database that is paid, we have to pay to find some books, some good articles, to find some resources that are reliable. We cannot search it through the visible web. We have to go into the database, and then we will reach, when we pay for the information, then it will be open for us. Then intranets. Intranets are the internal webs for most of the companies. They are communicating within their companies, and we do not know and we cannot reach their communication, especially when those companies, banks or insurance companies, and informations that they are dealing among them are very, very private and very, very important for us. But every day I think that we all use financial accounts when we are doing online banking or m-banking, or when we are visiting our retirement accounts to watch how much money do we have there. So we are using the deep web, and it is legal. Everything what I have said now it's legal. But how we are going deeper, we are going to the dark web. Dark web is very often used for illegal activities, for communication between some unknown fake tanks, and they are using that search engine that is named Tor. And what they are searching there for? They are searching for pirate music. They are stealing movies that are not yet in theaters. They can do it very anonymously, and they can steal your identities, your passwords. They can break your firewalls. They are posting viruses to our computers. So the dark web is very, very dangerous to visible web. And that is what our students have to know, that there is a connection between visible web and dark web, and that they have to think about it, what searching engines they are using, and what kind of informations about them they are posting on. And we are now going to talk about a little about the people. And the people is telling their stories. All of us needs to tell our story, and internet is very good place to put it there. But also people need to claim something. And we have to ask ourselves and to teach our students to ask themselves, who are they? Who are they? Who are those people who are telling their stories and claiming something? And how they are doing that? In what language? What kind of language they use? What kind of semiotics, pictures, angles, and the other creative use of the visual arts they are using, and why are they doing that? What are their intentions? What they want to do? Do they want to inform us, or do they want to persuade us, or do they want to entertain us? And we have to know that all those purposes, and we have to ask ourselves, are they who are the persons whom are they talking? Are those children, adults, women's, men's, and all the other audience? Here is the summer day and my garden and my pool, and the pool is full of different kinds of media messages. The first kind of media message that I posted, we are accepting as objective. News have to be objective. They have to tell us everything about the 5 questions and no personal comments. The other kind of the is statement. Statement is also something that we are hearing a lot from government, companies, NGOs, individuals when they are presenting their opinions. So there are facts and there are opinions. And then a lot of different type of media messages that are in between. Personal story. What is what is the intention when we are telling our personal story? To inform somebody or to entertain somebody? Or we are trying to gossip? Gossip is really very, very popular in the yellow journalism. And the personal stories sometimes are for the advertisement, like testimonials, when we are looking at some kind of products, when those persons are telling that those products are very good for their health and that they have reached their goals by using those products, and they are persuading us to use those products there through their personal stories and testimonials. The other kind of more serious journalism are commentaries and opinion essays that we can hear on some television shows, or we can read in newspapers. But most of the public are posting their comments on social media. Few of them are posting them on the news web pages, and they are looking the memes and ads, and they are reading only the headlines. So, why are the headlines the most important part of any media message? Could you tell me? There are 3 types of three types of headlines here. And as you see, they attract us to read the news, yes, of course. And they give us the first information. And if the headline is sensational, like the third one, I think that most of us will click on it. And that are clickable headlines and clickbait journalism. And the other one is one of very similar, when we are trying to find some reasons, 6 reasons for those, 10 reasons for those, and these are very also sensational. And the first and the last one about climate change, but the first one is satirical one, because when we think about it, it's normal that the fish live under the water, and the water is not important for the fishes, it is important for the humans. So it is a satirical newspaper. And the next one, the last one, is from the National Geographic, and this one is most informative one. Yes. You can use these headlines to discuss with your students, and this activity is also very, very useful. And you can tell them that headlines can be misleading, then they can make false connections between the headline and the content. They can appeal to your emotions, like this one with the word scary, and they can call us to click on, or to manipulate with our beliefs, emotions, values, like the second one, because the money is very important in our society. And when losing money is here, then we will think about reading that article. Debate is very good way to discuss headlines, or to put students in different groups to think about it. Well, we have seen here that there are a lot of informations, and the result of creation of so many information and messages then create information disorder. There are 3 kinds of information disorder. The first one is misinformation. When the clickbait headline is not connected with the content, or the content is not that good connected with the context. Sometimes we are saying that it is put out of the context. The words are out of the context. So this is not sometimes intention of the author. Sometimes we have done it not knowing it, but we have spread some misinformation. The other kind of information disorder is disinformation. When we put information in false context, that is very often with celebrities. And when we impose their content, or when we manipulate with content, it is the very known picture of the starving child and the bird that is waiting to die, that child. That is very manipulated picture, because it is not showing the whole context, because around that child were a lot of people, and in bigger picture you can see that the child is not in the desert, and that is the kind of disinformation that is appealing on our emotions. Then there is a fabricated content that is mostly popular one, and of course the malinformation, that malicious information, that are leaks, harassments, and at the end hate speech that we have to avoid in a democratic society. But very, very often on social media is that malinformation, and it comes through bots and think tanks from the dark web. And here are the 7 common forms of information disorder that are satire or parody, misleading context. Here is the some of the explanations. You can watch it later when you will watch. If you want more information, you can watch this on presentation later. And we have to move on to think aloud. Who or what can cause information disorder? Who are those persons or companies? And there are some questions that we can post. The first element to discuss is the agent. Who is the agent? And we have to look carefully and ask ourselves, are these real persons? That representatives of some groups? Are these companies? Are they want to sell their products? Are those the people from government who are telling us something about the COVID-19 or something like that is popular now? And or do we not know who is the person? Maybe is he using some nickname or avatar or something like that. The other important element is message, like on this Bitmoji. What are type of message is it? What format did it take? Is it video? Is it viral video, meme, news, opinion, comment? It's very, very important to know how how is it created, in what language, and who is interpreting the message. It is really important that the interpreter does not misinterpret the message. And nowadays it's very important to analyze with students visual components, because the visual messages are more influential in nowadays society, because we live in a visual world. For most of the messages, it's important that they have a strong narrative and they are repeated when more informations. And at the end, I would like to tell something about the fake news. We have discussed now the information disorder. That is the term that is more used nowadays than a fake news. But sometimes it is meant the same. When we say fake news, we think about the disinformations and malinformations. And what makes some news fakes? That is when we cannot verify it, when it's appealing on our emotions, when the author is not an expert in the field, and we cannot verify it on other place. It is unique. Only one person is claiming that. And sometimes, of course, there are fake sites. They are coming from deep web also, and from the stolen identities and stolen computers and stolen profiles on the social media. A lot of persons are victims of the stolen identities. And here are 4 categories. First one is with dubious and the contextualized informations. Then the websites with circulating misleading and unreliable informations, and at the end clickbaitable headlines, and the comedy sites like Newsbar in Croatia. How to discuss with students social media or other kind of media messages. Here is one technique that is called 4 moves technique, and here is the representation of that technique. The first is to check the previous work. We have here one headline on Harvard Medical School. We can think about females and domestic violence. Is it true? Because mostly stereotypical is that the men are those who are making domestic violence, and we would like to check this information. And then we can check first who is the Harvard Medical School, and what others are telling about this Harvard Medical School. And we can check also if somebody checked this information before to do the work for us. And if we don't find the answer, then we have to do the next step to upstream the source. So we have to find the other sources to find if the source is original and trustworthy. The third step, move, I'm sorry, is to read laterally. That is the move. That is the move when we look about the publication and author and the other people who we on whom do we have trust. And if we don't find the answer, we have to circle back until we find the right answer. Yes. I'm sorry. And the CREP test. The CREP test is very interesting one. It has the acronym that is telling us that we have to find information and then to ask ourselves, is it this information currently important for our topic? And at what time it was published? Because it could be very old one. The second one is that we have to think about the relevance. Maybe the article or the information is not relevant for our topic of the search. And then the authority. Is the author of the information and the source of information reliable? And can we trust it? And accuracy, we have to think about the truthfulness and correctness of information. And of course, the purpose we have discussed before. What reason is why the author puts the information on the internet? Is it for information or persuasion, or maybe he wants to sell his product, or make us believe what he believes. Here is the video. In the video there is a lot of more, and I will give you some rubric that is very useful to use with students, with the descriptors to evaluate the informations with students. And all of that is something that we can call media literacy taxonomy. That is something that we can discuss in some other situation, because it is the new topic, but I will give you some hint to little bit research on your own. You can use such activity with your students. There are two different types of media messages about the COVID-19. And one is the blog that is very subjective and a little bit ironic. And the other is a medical content portal, so students can watch, can read at the beginning, and then through the rubric they can evaluate the sources, or with the 4 moves technique. Or you can give them activity like that. They have to debunk the source and the content, and you can give them the research question. What are reliable websites to find answer on the question, does the black triangle on the vaccine boxes represent that is experimental? It is very accurate and very important topic for all of us, because we are in the pandemic now, and we are all thinking about our health, and about we are questioning ourselves, is it everything is going to end? We have all different people have different opinions about the vaccines, and we have to learn our students to debate based on the facts, and they have to find reliable sources and content to debate on such topics. Here are some resources that you can search on your own. For fact checkers, there are a lot of different sites like Fact Check, Invit, Soma, Google Fact Checker, Snoops, All Slides, and some of them can be put on our phones, like Vino and Ground News, that is usable on iPhones and Android platforms. And games that are really useful for media literacy is Get Bad News. That is a serious game. I think your students would love it to play it. I can show you later, but I think that we don't have much more time. And Factitious and Troll Factory, and the applications for creating fake book and fake chat app, and they can create their own. And you can discuss with your students also, do they have idea of filter bubbles and echo chambers? And I would like to ask you also, do you know for these terms, and do you have sometimes feeling that you are living in some wonderful world on your social media, and everybody is thinking like you, and all the news are very useful news, and all the commercials and ads on your social media are very, very, very great for your everyday life? If is it so, then you are probably living in filter bubble or echo chamber. And you can say to your students that they can type on their search engine's word choice or any other word, and then to compare their searches on search engines, or to compare their profiles on social media, what kind of ads and commercials are most offered to them. And then they will see that they have different type of messages, because they are living in their filter bubble that creates the artificial intelligence for us. When we accept cookies are for the boots, and artificial intelligence is a great thing to help us help, under the quotes. And the echo chamber, when we are searching for the something, there are more information about that thing. For example, yesterday I was watching about houses, nice places to go to the summer vacation, and all the other ads were about the summer vacation. You have experienced it also. And I have mentioned before, those who are agents of fake news are these little robots, bots. You know that sometimes when you are going to Pixabay on Unsplash or some other sites, that you have to acknowledge that you are not a robot, because they cannot recognize those pictures that are asking you to click on. Trolls are persons who are having bad intentions, who are trying to mislead us, to give us misinformations, disinformations, or even malinformations. And we have to think, who are they, who they are representing. Perhaps they are coming from dark web, and maybe there are some groups of people, partisans, who are creating fake tanks, and they are very, very dangerous. At the conclusion, I would like to say that we live in a global interconnected world. It's a really wonderful place to be, but very also dangerous place to be. And innumerable amount of informations are polluting our real and virtual world and appealing on our emotions, values, and attitudes. So we have to preserve our real life and our digitally mediated life, and to know what informations are important for us and what are not, and what is a really junky information. Then we have to be aware that swarm of bots, partisans, trolls, and fake tanks are spreading fake news through stolen or pursues accounts, identities on social media, and that students have to be aware that they don't know with whom they are chatting at the moment when they are playing some Fortnite game, and what informations are they giving about them. And therefore, it is very important in any subject to recognize information disorder and to lead students to create critical media literacy skills and knowledges, and that they gain ethical attitudes and civic values that new digital world citizens must learn as soon as possible. Well, that's it. That are my resources. There are a lot of different other resources great online courses on National Geographic. I like all of them, and you can get micro-credentials on them.
Thank you so much,
Online
Nataša.
learning
Well, I'm just reading the comments at the moment. There were a lot of comments during your presentation about that it's very professional, very useful and interesting. I think one of the colleagues, participant, mentioned that this is the best presentation I have ever listened to, because you have really gave the background information from like beginnings and involving us into thinking. Most of us already like know misinformation, disinformation, but with such an insight into critical thinking for us that we can present to our students. And I also must say that colleagues have been mentioning that it's very useful, and it will be also beneficial for their future eTwinning projects, as some of them have been talking that they are going to start media literacy projects, and I'm sure this presentation and all of the resources you have shared will be of great use. We are going, yes, could you, Michal? Yes, we are going to, I'm going to return on the last 2 pages if you want to take a screenshot, but don't worry, all of the links and presentations will be in the group. Nataša, there was one question for you in the chat, if I figured it out from the beginning. It was during when you talked about the Mozilla hubs. Rugaya Cavaldi, I hope I have pronounced the name, asked, can we save this page for us or just the founder? So I'm not quite sure what was she or he referring to, but can you a little bit explain a little bit Mozilla hubs? Would that be too much for you? You have started sharing the screen. Okay, yeah. So Mozilla Hubs is probably like a second life. I don't know how much do our participants know, but the Second Life was one of the first online platforms that I have heard of, and in 2011 for the first time. I know people have been, and you can create your avatar, your face, you can create your world for yourself, and I know many of my colleagues, English teachers worldwide, they have online conferences in this Second Life. They just sit, they come around like a round table, they watch presentations on screen like you're on television, but they're actually inside the world. So I suppose that Hub Mozilla is something similar. Okay, Nataša is trying to demonstrate how Hubs Mozilla looks like, so let's check it out. I have also, for all of you, I have already posted the link for the Nataša's evaluation, and if you want the certificate of participation, so I'm attaching it again. Also, regarding the presentation, just to let you know that you will have to wait for a week because I need to check with the CSS about the layout of the presentation now, but I hope they are going to be sent to you within a week time. So yes, Nataša, so what are you showing us now? Okay. Are you building this? Is this yours? Have you built this house? Template.
We have entered the room, the virtual, and as you see, it's 3. It's 3D, and you can find templates for the start, and you can make your avatar, or you can choose one of them because it is not easy to create one when you don't know how to use it.
Can you invite a person to join your hubs, Mozilla?
World.
Yes.
So here are some
So I suppose if you want to participate in virtual worlds, try to explore as much as possible. They are quite useful, of course, but we all know that these are the things that our students might be using, especially if they are playing video games, like I mentioned Minecraft. They come, they join. Copy the link. Yes, yes, yes.
You can invite very easily with a link or with the room code, or you can embed it into different kind of sites. Then you can share your camera or your screen. It is very good.
But if in order to enter your Mozilla Hubs, for instance, do I need to have my own Mozilla Hubs login?
Different kind of
okay.
Media. You can write, you can put GIFs, 3D models, avatars, and here are some of the deleted ones. You can
it's free at the moment. It's free. I hope it's going to stay. So this one yours looks like it is like you could have easily invited us to join you to have a presentation in Mozilla Hub, so we could all come with our own avatars.
And this is all.
And you would share your screen and your presentation within this world. This is what you have been actually talking about. So I hope that all of you have got an idea how this works like. Thank you all so much for coming. Last time I'm sharing the link for the Google Forms if you are willing to use give the feedback for Natasha's presentation, and if you are willing to get the certificate of attendance. And that's it. Thank you, Natasha. We have taken a lot of your time. I think we could listen more and more. There are so many useful things. But this is it for tonight, and I wish you all a good night, and I hope you are going to join us also for another similar webinar. I'm also organizing the presenter, but it is going to be through Media Literacy group, so I will give more feedback on that through my tiny letter and other messages that I sent to you. Natasha, thank you for joining us. And thank you for sharing wonderful and very insightful and useful ideas, resources. And I think your presentation is going to be used a lot within the classrooms and with our students. Thank you so much for coming. But we can take a screenshot now. I have put you in a I have put you in a discussion mode. Don't worry, this is it's nice that we could still see you as like a frozen photo. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording. Thank you all for coming, and see you in about a few weeks. Keep busy and stay healthy, everybody.